What's happening, everybody? Hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day, very sunny outside. Feels really good. As opposed to yesterday, very, very cold. I hate it when it's cold. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are very much appreciated. You are family to me. I hope I am family to you too. This is your first time, feel free to join us. Click on the button, subscribe, so we can see each other very much often. And also, we're all going to do this before we start, so we can push our video further. Okay. So, as you know, we always talk about various geopolitical things and African things and our people things. Today, we're going to talk about something a little more social. These are the problems that we see every day. We don't really have a platform, or perhaps we don't talk about very, very much. We are in Nigeria. Okay, so a Nigerian court has sentenced a medical doctor to life in prison for ... his wife's teenager niece. A Nigerian court has sentenced a medical doctor to life imprisonment for ... his wife's teenager niece. I'm not going to say the word because we're going to get censored. You understand? The husband, who's a doctor, did ... to the wife's teenager niece. Dr. Olufemi is reported to have ... a girl for more than a year until his wife found out and informed the police, the prosecutor said. That's very interesting. For over a year, he's been doing that with a little girl until his wife found out and informed the police. Let's continue. So, doctor, in November, was condemned, and they arraigned him for 2 counts of, you know what I'm saying? During the trial, the doctor's wife said she discovered the abuse after the girl told her aunt and the family's driver. Obviously, aunt and family drivers are easier to speak to. You know, the driver never judges you. And most girls prefer to talk to their aunts instead of speaking to mothers directly. The girl is now 18 years old and said the doctor had been with her and issued a death threat if she told anyone. So obviously the doctor told her, you know what, we're going to do that. But if you dare tell anybody, I'm going to, yeah. He was also accused of forcing her to see those movies. Justice Socially described the medical doctor as of Optimal Cancer Care Foundation as a dangerous offender who did not show any sign of regret. According to the judge, Olaleya's earlier confession to the police proved that he committed the offenses. And in his plea for leniency, the doctor's lawyer, Adebisi Oridad, asked the state to recognize Olaleya's service as a cancer doctor, and he was a first-time offender. So, obviously, the advocate, the lawyer, the defense lawyer of the offender asking the judge to be, easy on the doctor because he's a cancer doctor after all. He's done so much work for the community. And he's a first-time offender. Don't do that to him. 1 life imprisonment. Okay, fellas. Nigerian doctor. I mean, this is not limited to Nigeria, we need to say. Many African countries go through these type of things. Nigerian doctor has been doing that to a young girl who's his wife's niece. Very, very sad. Very sad situation. Because this is very common. More common than most of us dare to acknowledge. This is more common in our societies. Many Africans go through these things. Let me put it into concept for many of you guys who live, abroad in different places. Maybe don't understand. In Africa, we are very much together in terms of family. So if one member of the family, let's say a sister, get married to somebody that's wealthy, we most likely going to send our child or our niece to her to go and study. Okay, let's say the sister married a doctor in the capital. They have a big house, they have a nice situation. We're mostly going to send one of ours to their house to have a better life because we are, most of us, not so rich. Many of us, in fact, are poor. So in order to have a better opportunity, you may send your child living to your sister's house, for studies and stuff like that. The child will stay there all year long and only come back home during vacations and public holidays. And unfortunately, in many situations, they go and find somebody like this who's the husband of the sister, but he's a danger to society. Props to this lady, number one. Congratulations to her for having the courage to inform the police, to tell on her husband. Many people don't do that. Many people do not do that. They found out that the husband has been doing things that are unacceptable. They shut up to protect the husband, to protect the marriage. I mean, you're married to a doctor who's a cancer doctor in Nigeria. So that's most likely somebody that's doing really good in life. So you are making money. You must have a good life. Having the courage to go and speak out. Tell on your husband, look, I'm sorry to say this to you, but many people they choose to save their marriage than telling the truth in situations like this. And it's not limited to marriages. Even in churches, Christian churches, you'll see a pastor's been doing horrendous things to young girls, and people find out about that. I know a situation where a young girl, she was singing in a choir, and she came and spoke out about us. The pastor called me in, and I thought it was just about something spiritual, but then he started touching me in an inappropriate manner, and this and that. They stopped her immediately. Stop that, young girl. What are you talking about? That's the man of God. You can't be talking about. You can't do that. Do you understand how many lives and souls you're going to destroy if you speak out about this? Are you ready to carry the responsibility of all these souls getting lost because of you? Yeah. In fact, I dated that girl. She was telling me the truth about her experience. Shocking. Like that's what she was told. Everybody turned against her, even people in her family. You can't talk like this about the pastor. You know how many people have put their hope on this pastor. You will be destroying the church. Are you ready to bear the consequences? Instead of saying, you know what? You're going to save people by telling the truth. This man is not a man of God. And I don't understand that. You must understand the pastor is just a human being. He can make mistakes. No, dude. Normal people who don't pray don't make such mistakes. How can you, a man of God, make such a big mistake? You're not a man of God. You need to be called on that name. That's exactly the point. And I think it's very sad. And another girl I saw also telling me her mom was dating this guy and this man was doing that to her. And the day she spoke to her mom said to her, why? Because you dress inappropriately. That's the reason why. You know what? Stop trying, my man. Do you want to break my relationship? Yeah. I saw that in Cape Town, South Africa. And many people leave these things. I mean, let's be honest. Many families throughout Africa, just to be honest. Maybe it's more in certain areas of Africa compared to others. But in most cases, you see many families live in these situations. Very sad situation. Sometimes even cousins. You go to a cousin's house, you sleep for the night, and at night, things that happen there are just, and you don't know how to express yourself because you're scared to talk. It's very sad. Number one, I salute this lady for having the courage to speak out. This is one more criminal out of the road. Surely this will not, bring back the sanity and repay the damage done to this young girl. But at least we have one person out of the road, one criminal out of the road. And I think it's important to send a very strong message. And again, we find ourselves in families where when people speak out, they get accused of being, you are the reason why you got, the reason why they did that to you is because you don't dress appropriately. Why do you wear miniskirt? Why do you do this? Okay. You shouldn't be wearing miniskirt. I get that. You shouldn't be being at a point dressed up in a way that will, push these crazy people out there to react in a certain way. I get that. Because yes, there are some crazy people who have no respect for other people. There are some crazy people in the street who do not have self-respect or any other thing. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't equip them with reasons to do those things, even though they don't have the rights to do that. You should not equip them with further stuff, motivation to act stupid. I agree with that. But saying the reason why you were victim of that is because you put yourself in that position, I think it's absolutely stupid. Many people in these communities, many people in these communities have been victims of this type of situation, but have no courage to speak out. They can't talk because they're going to be blamed. Even in police stations, they cannot talk because the questions is going to be like, why did you go there again? What was the actual reason why you stayed there so late? Even though that doesn't justify anything. You can stay as late as you like. If you do not say, yes, I agree with this, whatever you want to do, it's still a no. A no is a no. It doesn't matter when it is. But in African societies, no's are very conditional. Okay, and judgments are very conditional. It depends on how the mood of the people are. Again, sentence for life. Do you think life imprisonment is what's fair, or is it too much for a such offender? A man who's a doctor, a lawyer said, please, Mr. Judge, just give him an opportunity. After all, he's a cancer doctor. Many people will need him in the street in our country. He's a first-time offender. Is this a good enough price to pay? Life imprisonment for forcing himself many, many times, for doing that to a wife's niece, completely destroying your life for the rest of your life. I'm sure she's going to stay with trauma and fear and, all the type of things that she will carry with her for the rest of her life. Again, I say props, congratulations to this lady for standing up strong. Olufemi Olale, Dr. Olufemi Olale. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. I like to exchange with you about different subjects. Let's see how you feel about it. How is it in your community? Have you heard of these stories? Because we see these stories. We hear stories in families. I was watching a video on Instagram. The caption says, when we go to grandma's house. And the noise was the noise that you can imagine. And I was shocked to read the messages. Shocked to read the comments of people saying, oh, yeah, every family has these people. Like, what kind of society are you? Every family have people that do that with each other in your family? Wow. And you've gotten used to that. I mean, I was shocked, taken by the comments, seeing that people have been desensitized. They just, oh, yeah, this, yeah, every family has this. Like, wow. And you wonder why you find crazy people in the street, people that are absolutely toxic, and you don't understand if they are real human beings or not. We need healings, man. We need healing. God bless.